Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to you all. My dear students, I hope you are in good health and enjoying the blessings of Ramzan with online classes. So students, I have a very easy topic for you today, that is types of sentences. This is basically a grammar topic and you have done this topic in your previous classes as well. So this is just for your reinforcement. So I hope you are going to enjoy this topic because I am going to discuss it in a new way. So types of sentences, the learning objective of types of sentences is at the end of the lesson you will be able to learn the four basic types of sentences. So let's see what we learn and let's see what I have something new for you. Basically there are four types of sentences. The very first type is declarative sentences. Declarative sentences is also called assertive sentences. Assertive sentence, this is basically a name, you can call it a name of the other name of declarative sentences, assertive sentence. Basically declarative sentences give information. Declarative sentence means a sentence that declares something, that tells something, that simply states something, or that simply gives information about something. Declarative sentence. And these sentences always end with a period, or you can say or a full stop. So there is a full stop at the end of every declarative sentence. If you talk about the second type of sentence, imperative sentence is a type of sentence that gives a command, order, a request, advice, suggestion, warning, or a wish. So whenever you find anything out of this list, it means that is an imperative sentence. And again, this sentence also ends with a period or with a full stop at the end. Third type is interrogative sentences. Interrogative or interrogative sentence is a type of sentence that asks a question. Whenever a question is asked, so it means that particular sentence is known as interrogative sentence or interrogative sentence. So interrogative sentences end with a question mark. At the end of every interrogative sentence, there must be a question mark. My students, most of the students Usually, most of the students forget to insert this question mark at the end of interrogative sentence. So this is so much important to insert question mark at the end of interrogative sentence. You may say that this is the identification of an interrogative sentence. This question mark is the identification or the recognition of the interrogative sentence. Fourth type is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence are the sentences which express great emotion such as excitement, surprise, happiness and anger, and ends with an exclamatory mark. Basically exclamatory sentence is a sentence in which you always express sudden emotions or sudden feelings. Whenever you are showing your sudden expression or sudden feeling about anything, and expression or feeling or emotion would be about anything, because as I told you in our lesson of formal writing, that emotion does not only mean that emotions of sadness or when or you start crying about something. No, emotions means emotions of sadness, emotions of happiness, emotions of excitement, emotions of surprise, emotions of anger. Whenever you are showing this feeling, or whenever you are showing sudden feeling or sudden emotions, it means you are using exclamatory sentence. And exclamatory sentence always ends with a exclamatory mark, and this is how you can write exclamatory mark. Okay, so I know there is a little bit confusion to understand these things, but we are going to discuss these things in detail. Uh, I am going to give a detailed lecture on each and every type with examples so that you may understand it more clearly and very well. Inshallah, at the end of this sentence, all the four types will be clear to you after looking into the examples. So, if we talk about declarative sentences in detail, so declarative sentence is the most basic type of sentence. This is you can say a simple sentence is called a declarative sentence, because in simple sentence there is only an information is given, or something is told about some other thing. So it can be a simple or compound sentence. Every simple sentence, yes, now there is a difference between simple and compound sentence, and you have you have done this difference in your first term, I guess. Simple sentences means every sentence that has a subject, verb, or an object is called. If a sentence has these three things, it means that is a simple sentence. Like she plays the piano. So simple sentence, this simple sentence is also called declarative sentence or an assertive sentence. So whenever there is a subject, she is subject, plays is a verb, and the piano is object. So if a sentence comprises of these three things, that is called a simple or declarative or an assertive sentence. A declarative sentence can also be a compound sentence. Now what is compound sentence? A compound sentence is a sentence that has two main clauses, and those two main clauses are joined by a conjunction, a connective. And what is the conjunction? Conjunction means anything that joins two clauses, a word or a punctuation mark that joins two main clauses or two clauses, conjunctions. So whenever you are talking about compound sentences, it means you are using the technique of fanboys. So fanboys, in fanboys, F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for no, B stands for but, not because, but. O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. So whenever you are using any conjunction out of this fanboys technique, it means that is called compound sentence. And yes, this there can be a comma, colon, or semicolon. These things can also be used, any of these things can also be used as conjunction in compound sentences. So here I have five examples of both simple and compound sentences, and because they are also called declarative sentences. The first example is, she plays the piano. The town was flooded due to rain. This is again a simple sentence. The town was flooded due to rain. I liked riding my bicycle around the park. This is again a simple sentence or a declarative sentence. And at the end of every sentence, you may see the period or you may see the full stop, because declarative sentences always end with the full stop. So I like riding my bicycle around the park. Fourth example is, the weather is warm and sunny. A perfect day for a picnic. So there are two clauses here. The weather is warm and sunny. This is one main clause, and the other main clause is a, a perfect day for a picnic. So these two main clauses are joined together with this semicolon. It means this semicolon is a connective here or a conjunction here, and this sentence is a compound sentence, and every compound sentence is also called declarative sentence. Last example is, it is a beautiful day. These all sentences are simply declaring something. These all five examples are simply telling about or giving information about something, so they are called declarative sentences. If we move forward and have a look on imperative sentences. So imperative sentences do not simply state a fact, but rather tell someone to do something. Let me read it again. Imperative sentences do not simply state a fact, but rather tell someone to do something. Basically, there are commands, requests, demands, advices, suggestions, invitations, warnings, wishes in imperative sentences. You can identify an imperative sentence because it appears to be missing a subject. So there are three parts of this definition. If you talk about the first part of definition of imperative sentences, that is, they do not simply state a fact, but rather tell someone to do something. Because as I told you, in declarative sentence there is always a fact or a simply some information. But in imperative sentence, it tells someone to do something, means something is told to some other one to do, some action is asked by someone to do. This first part. Second part of this definition is there can be command. Now these things can be in imperative sentences, like there can be a command, there can be a request, there can be a demand, there can be advice or suggestion or invitation or etc. So whenever, if any sentence is starting, or if you find any sentence with these things, so it means that sentence is called imperative sentence. Talking about the third part of this definition, you can identify an imperative sentence because it appears to be missing a subject. And we know that very well in declarative sentence. As I told you, there is subject, verb and object. But in this sentence, in imperative sentence, there would not be any subject. The sentence directly starts from a verb or the words please, kindly. So, whenever a sentence is directly starting with a verb, it means that is an imperative sentence. Here we have an example. Shut the front door. So, shut is the verb. This sentence is starting with the verb, and this sentence is giving a command. It means this is an imperative sentence. Don't eat don't eat all the cookies. This is a request or it can be a demand. So this is also an imperative sentence. Choose the Irish choose the Irish Wolfhound, not the German Shepherd. Basically, these are the names of two different dogs. So choose the Irish Wolfhound, not the German Shepherd. This is a suggestion. This can also be said as an advice. So this sentence is again starting with a verb. So this is an imperative sentence. Please join us for the dinner. This is an invitation. So please, so as I told you, that there are two identifications or recognitions of this sentence. The first is that it starts with a verb, and the second identification is it also starts with please or kindly. These are two words that can be used at the start of imperative sentences because these two words are used to show an advice or to show any invitation. So please join us for the dinner. And then kindly follow all the precautions in current scenario. This is again an advice for all of you, to all the students listening to me, that you should follow all the precautions in current scenario. You should wash your hands properly. You should clean yourself, and you should use masks or gloves if you want to go outside. And yes, go outside on least reasons. So these are some precautions, and yes, these are some advices as well. Next, if we talk about interrogative sentences, so interrogative sentences or interrogative sentences, they can be, both pronunciation can be used. So I prefer interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences interrogate or ask a question. If there is a question, if there is a question is asked, if there is a question asked, it means that is an interrogative sentence. These are direct questions. Direct question is asked, or they are punctuated with a question mark. And at the end of every interrogative sentence, a question mark is punctuated, a question mark is inserted. So they often begin with interrogative words. And what are these interrogative words? Like who, when, where, why, what, how, do, did, have. So these words are interrogative words. So they are, whenever these words are used at the start of sentence asking a question or interrogating a sentence, so that is called interrogative sentence. The examples are given here. Will you please do me a favor? So this is a question, and at the end of this, you can say at this sentence there is a question mark that is so much important to insert. So will you please do me a favor? If i simply uh, if i simply narrate this sentence like this, will you please do me a favor, you cannot understand. So it means whenever you are asking a question, the tone of your voice also matters. If I say, will you please do me a will you please do me a favor, this does not create so much effect. But if I say, will you please do me a favor, so it means the tone of your voice or the ups and downs of the words also matters a lot when you are using interrogative sentences in your speech. So if I say, should I eat with you, again a question and question mark at the end. How was the story of the kite runner? The story of the container. This is again a trick question that I am asking. You have read Hassan comprehension in last week, and that comprehension was taken from the kite runner. So how was the story of the kite runner? Again a question with a question mark at the end. What makes the leaves change color? What makes the leaves change color? Again a question, because that is starting with how, what. Okay, so these are interrogating words. Last example is, do you like rain, or what do you do, or what do you usually do during rainstorms? The question mark at the end. So these are some of the examples of interrogative words, sorry, interrogative sentences. Moving forward, we have exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences, as I told you, exclamatory sentence is a type of sentence that is used to used to express sudden emotions or sudden feelings, okay, or sudden strong emotional or feelings or excitement. And at the end of every statement, at the end of every exclamatory sentence, this exclamatory mark is used, and this is how we write exclamatory mark. If I say, how well he sings, again, your voice does matter. The ups and downs of your voice does matter in exclamatory sentence when you are using them in your speech. How well he sings, it means you are you are you are showing, you are expressing the strong emotion, that how well he sings. Wow, he just won a silver medal. So this wow, or this your this the way you are showing your emotion means you are using exclamatory sentence, and again exclamation mark at the end. What a lovely bouquet of flowers, what a lovely bouquet of flowers. Again, the ups and downs of my voice does matter here, and exclamatory mark is used at the end. As I told you, exclamatory sentences, they can also be strong emotions of, or emotion of sadness. So, oh, this is an emotion of sadness. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. OMG. Alas, that's a tragic death. Again, this is showing the emotions of sadness. So these are some of the types of exclamatory sentences, and at the end of every exclamatory sentence, an exclamation mark is used. I am using these things again and again. I am using I'm using what comes at the end of sentence of what comes at the end of exclamatory sentence, what comes at the end of declarative sentence, what comes at the end of interrogative or sentence and imperative sentence. I'm I am repeating these things. I am using these things again and again, so that you may understand it very well, and so that you may use them correctly in your sentences. And yes, you and this is also, if you can also find these things in your in some text, so that these are the identifications of recognizing or identifying exclamatory sentence or something, or sentences of every type. So this is the time of homework. So if I say, what would be the homework? The homework is actually, you are supposed to read a comprehension, a very small comprehension, a very little comprehension of almost 60 lines, or almost 55 lines, I guess, that is Flying into a Storm, given on page number, your Oxford and International Approach books, page number 126. So go for this comprehension, and that is given in unit number 7. Read this comprehension, and then try to find out all four types of sentences from the text, minimum two for each type, minimum two examples for every four types of sentences. And then after pointing out those types of sentences, write them in your language notebooks. And yes, if you find any problem, if you find any difficulty in finding out the examples from the text, you can ask easily in the comment box. So that's it regarding four types of sentences from my side. That's it today. Inshallah we will be with you with new topic and new enthusiasm. Until inshallah we will be with you very soon. Until then, fi amanillah, Allah Hafiz.